Philadelphia, and then we're going to see the extreme heat continue forward all the way down through the south. So you said one of the hottest places you're asking is about Paducah, 111, St. Louis, you're in that 105 territory, 107 Huntsville, Nashville, and then Washington, D.C. along with Philly dealing with some of the hottest temperatures too, anywhere from 112 to 111. So that extreme heat warning carries on. Now hot, hazy, and humid. This is going to move you through the next several days. Over into Boston, there is a really nice cool down. By Monday, 73. New York City, Sunday, just wait for it, 88. It's going to feel fantastic. 80 by Monday. Washington, D.C. still hangs on to the heat, staying in about 97 by Sunday. And then Raleigh, 111 for your Saturday, 106 for your Monday. And that heat also transfers down to the south. In the Midwest, the heat is continuing into St. Louis, Nashville, down through areas of Jackson. And then we are going to continue onward with the Independence Day forecast. A lot going on. Fire danger out towards the west. We do have rain and the potential for severe weather as we make our way out towards areas of the Midwest, and then hot and hazy as we get out towards areas of the south. We get you out towards the next round of severe weather too, so we have to discuss this. This is going to be moving into areas closer towards, it looks like the Midwest, Sioux Falls, Omaha, getting into Iowa. It's a 3 out of 4 threat level, large hail, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible, isolated tornadoes in that orange bullseye there, but it does extend all the way out towards the east, even damaging winds on the east coast, New York, Philly, Baltimore, you're in there along with Syracuse, and then it also continues forward for your Saturday. So Saturday, same areas along the east coast, except getting a little bit larger, moving out towards West Virginia, getting down into Virginia, Richmond, and then the 2 out of 5 threat level on Sunday. Now it's moving south a little bit, getting into D.C., staying down through Richmond, and then we keep the damaging wind, lightning as a possibility, along with that flash flooding. Diane, so we'll keep a close eye. I mean, a lot of people want to see fireworks, but if we have the thunder, the lightning, the rain, some of these, at least fireworks displays might be impacted. So we'll keep you posted.
Leslie, thank you. The heat's also impacting the record holiday travel weekend. Amtrak is reporting cancellations, and Delta's issuing a heat travel alert for some passengers. ABC News transportation correspondent Gio Benitez is at Newark Airport. Hi, Gio.
Hey there, it is good to see you, but take a look at this. It is a very busy already here at the airport, and it will be busy all across this country. We're talking about more than 51,000 flights. That's 7,000 more flights than an average day, so keep that in mind. Now, these America 250 celebrations, they're going to be big, and they will impact travel. So take a look at this, because military flyovers will cause the intermittent closure of airspace from Washington to Boston. In fact, Reagan National Airport outside D.C. will be closed all day tomorrow on the 4th. Several airlines, including Delta, JetBlue, United, American, they've issued travel waivers allowing passengers to change their flights without additional fees. The heat will also cause disruptions. Delta is issuing a heat travel alert for passengers flying through LaGuardia. If you are riding the rails, Amtrak is reporting several cancellations. Some trains are operating at reduced speeds because of that heat. Most travelers, though, they will be trying to throughout the holiday.
Gio Benitez, thank you. The DOJ is charging a former U.S. Olympian with vandalizing the Washington reflecting pool. The pool has been plagued with algae and peeling paint after President Trump's $16 million renovations. Now David Hearn's facing up to 10 years in prison if he's found guilty. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is here with more on that case. So Selena, what's the latest on these charges?
Yeah, Diane, well, the DOJ is claiming that David Hearn, this former Olympian, caused over $1,000 in damage by ripping off a piece of the newly installed sealant in the reflecting pool. And we're talking about a felony charge here that carries up to 10 years in prison. But Diane, I spoke to David Hearn last week shortly after he was arrested, and he told me he simply touched a piece of the lining that was already partially detached from the bottom of the reflecting pool. He said he touched it, and he told me, quote, "I did not remove, I did not damage. damage. I did not rip, tear, break, destroy, or harm any part of the reflecting pool. He told me he was on a bike ride and he went to the reflecting pool, went by there as a curious and concerned citizen to check out the conditions. His attorneys are also reacting to this indictment, saying that it is outrageous, saying it reflects the administration's effort to shift blame for their own failures. Now, President Trump has repeatedly blamed vandals for the damage, but has failed to provide any evidence to back up his claims, Diane.
Meanwhile, Selena, new filings show President Trump's advisors executed thousands of trades on his behalf. How unusual is that for a U.S. president?
This is a total departure from previous presidents who have either divested their holdings or traded solely in mutual funds. By contrast, we are learning from the president's financial disclosures that Trump's investment advisors made more than 21,000 security trades in his first year back in office, amassing major holdings in companies directly involved in deals tied to the Trump administration. Trump's portfolio grew to over $850 million, spanning roughly 1,600 companies. In contrast, former President Biden made just 13 stock trades during his entire presidency. Trump also has stakes in companies that have contracts with the government, including Palantir, Boeing, and NVIDIA. And many of the companies that the president has invested in also directly benefit from policies that this administration has been involved in, prompting criticism about conflicts of interest. For example, on the same day that the White House unveiled its AI action plan, Trump invested $1 to $5 million each in 6 companies whose work with AI was directly impacted by the policy. Some of the president's busiest trading days also came after announcements of policy shifts around trade. Now, the White House is defending the president, saying that his investments are managed by outside managers.
All right, Selena Wang at the White House for us. Thank you. Crews are scrambling to find thousands of people still missing in Venezuela. International groups are working around the clock to find survivors of last week's twin earthquakes. Critics say the Venezuelan government reacted too slowly. Now Venezuela's acting president is defending her government's response. IRC Emergency Response Director Rafael Velasquez Garcia has more on what it's like there now. Hi, Rafael. So what do you make of acting President Rodriguez's response to the criticism over the government's handling of this crisis?
Good morning, Diane. Our teams are right now active in the ground. I was just yesterday in Yaracuy and in La Guardia, and we haven't seen any issues related to access. What we're seeing is a large display of search and rescue operations, and now we're trying to focus and get people to start looking at early recovery so that the people who are rescued are able to access health services as well as water and sanitation and protection.
You say the response doesn't meet the humanitarian needs right now. How so?
No, I meant to say there's a large component of international rescue search operations on the ground. Organizations like ours are right now there trying to provide that level of assistance. So there is a large display of many members from the international community providing assistance.
And yesterday, teams from the U.S., Chile, Portugal, Mexico, they all teamed up to pull this man from the rubble alive. What goes into this kind of global operation?
So right now we're in a very difficult moment because no one wants to talk about the fact that the golden window that closes for search and rescue operations starts becoming smaller and smaller as time goes by. So this is particularly challenging, but we are looking right now, sadly, at the figures. More than 2,000 people have died, and there's still more than 38 to 40,000 people missing. We do know that the UN has been approached for 10,000 body bags. We know that this is not going to get better, and what we need to know is we need to do is make sure that people understand it doesn't stop with the damage of the broken buildings falling apart. Now we have to reconstruct people's livelihoods. We have to help people help themselves, making sure that they have access. Our people on the ground, our teams on the ground are telling us that they're considering a vector response. They're worried about water and sanitation, lack of access to clean water. And yesterday I was visiting a site and a golf course that has become a temporary displacement center. And what we're saying is that many people refuse to leave because they're afraid of looting and they're afraid of leaving their belongings behind.
All right, Rafael Velasquez Garcia, we appreciate your time today and the work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, the deadly dispute over a parking spot, why a woman shot and killed a veteran outside a Walmart, plus the debate over whether she'll be charged. Also ahead, new video in the search for an American woman who vanished in the Bahamas, what it shows the Coast Guard doing next.
Lock in with deals on all your game day snacks and groceries. Store game day deals for a limited time on Uber Eats. Naomi loves the sound of earning and saving money on Vinted. Don't wear it, sell it.
A free gift from my Medicare number.
Dad.
Come on. I know this is fraud. Never accept gifts for your Medicare number. And get wise to Medicare fraud. Learn more at medicare.gov/fraud.
Stop and savor the strawberries with Haagen-Dazs. Take your sweet time. That's Dazs.
Searching for something new, something fun? Subaru was rated higher than every other automotive brand by Consumer Reports. And Subaru is Consumer Reports' 2026 best overall automotive brand. Time for a new toy? Look at Subaru.
Moana, rated PG, in theaters July 10th.
Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, investigators are blaming a portable phone charger for a fire on a Walt Disney World ride. They say a guest's charger caught fire while she was boarding the It's a Small World ride. Disney says cast members used a fire extinguisher and evacuated the ride. Disney also says no one was hurt and the ride reopened that same day. And officials are investigating a deadly shooting in a Florida Walmart parking lot. Cell phone video shows a man and a woman arguing over a parking space when she appears to shoot him. Now she's claiming self-defense, and prosecutors are weighing whether Florida's Stand Your Ground law applies. ABC News' Matt Rivers has the details.
This morning, the ongoing investigation into a deadly confrontation in Florida, a parking space dispute turning deadly outside a Walmart. 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo shot and killed.
Female shot someone outside in the parking lot. Both out there were fighting over a parking spot.
Authorities say the altercation started about 5 minutes earlier, with the two drivers fighting over a parking spot. DeGuglielmo then parked his car, partially blocking the spot, and walked into the store. Witnesses say the woman then managed to slip into the spot anyway. The woman is then seen getting out of her car, phone in one hand, gun in the other, yelling at DeGuglielmo, who appears to be yelling back. He's then seen walking toward her as she points the gun at him. She backs up several times, gun leveled. She retreats around the car. He follows. An eyewitness says the woman repeatedly warned him she'll shoot if he keeps coming at her. He appears to leave, but then quickly returns. And then she opens fire, shooting DeGuglielmo. Police then take the woman into custody. Officials say she claims she was acting in self-defense.
Now, that woman is no longer in custody, and the shooting is now under investigation. Prosecutors will have to decide what charges, if any at all, are warranted. Really, it's a question of was this self-defense or not? Back to you.
Matt Rivers, thank you. And newly released body camera video shows the Coast Guard seizing the boat at the center of a missing person case. Brian Hooker says his wife, Lynette, fell overboard from their dinghy in the Bahamas. Police arrested and questioned Hooker, but released him days later without charges. Now their sailboat and that dinghy are in custody. ABC News' Victor Okendo has more on the case.
This morning, newly released Coast Guard body cam video showing the moment Brian and Lynette Hooker's boat was seized.
How many people on board? Just 2. Okay, any weapons on board? No, sir. Okay, do not reach for them.
The boat, named the Soulmate, taken in May, 1 month after Brian reported his wife Lynette went overboard. She has not been seen since.
You guys headed to St. Augustine?
No, we're heading up to Fernandina Beach.
Okay.
Moving in for the owner.
Yeah, is he gonna meet you there?
I don't think so, no.
So right now the boat's being seized?
While the Hookers are not named in the video, sources tell ABC News the boat does belong to them. Brian told Bahamian authorities that his wife Lynette fell off their dinghy April 5th in the Bahamas. Investigators held Brian for nearly a week in jail, but ultimately released him without charges. Last month, Coast Guard divers searched for Lynette in a new area off Elbow Key, near where their boat was previously anchored. This after U.S. officials said GPS data recovered from her husband's electronic devices did not match what he told police.
The Coast Guard concluded their search last month without revealing what they found. They also seized the couple's dinghy. The Soulmate remains here in Florida.
Victor Okendo, thank you. Coming up, Lori talks with Gia founder Melanie Masserin about her new cookbook with easy French and Italian recipes. Get ready to shop when we come back.
Find your founding family at Ancestry before our sale ends.
Grand Canyon University offered nearly
nearly $161 million in institutional scholarships to online students in 2024, in addition to federal grants and aid. See what scholarships you may qualify for. Find your purpose. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer.
Not today, Whammy. Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, a new cookbook is promising to bring a little Mediterranean flavor to your kitchen. GMA Lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamato talked with author Melanie Masserin. She's also the CEO of the best-selling alcohol-free aperitif Gia. And you can shop her book and more by scanning the QR code on the bottom left corner of your screen. So, Lori, what are we shopping for today?
Melanie, it's so great to have you here. Thanks for being here. I see that you're going to show us some of your incredible recipes. But before we get to that, can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to go from founding Gia to creating a whole cookbook?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Yes, absolutely. I think the inspiration really comes from the same place, wanting to host generously without, being fussy, without being stressed in the kitchen. I think the idea was, how do you pour an easy drink that's good for you, that tastes delicious, to really transition you from work into play, to relax you. We always say Gia takes you to a place, and that place can be just, relaxation, or it can be the coast of Italy. And I think the recipes, I was, very lucky to grow up in the south of France, and I wanted to show how simple it can be to host or to share with people. So you'll see those are 2-minute recipes that are more assembly than cooking.
I mean, 2-minute recipes, Mediterranean vibes. This is right up my alley. So you start off the book with a beautiful introduction of you and your family, and end the book with drinks that include Gia, of course. So what did you bring for us today?
So I brought you our newest flavor, which is the blood orange flavor. This is a can, so it's pre-spritz. You don't have to do anything. Just drink it cold, crack a can open, and pour it in a pretty glass. We also made these glasses.
Oh, wow.
But this one is our, quintessential kind of blood orange flavor. Look at the color. I love it.
Beautiful.
It is my favorite drink.
So let's get started with your first recipe, a vegetable carpaccio that looks exquisite on this beautiful shell plate from Pottery Barn. Tell me about it.
Well, I would always order from a farm box, and there's always some vegetables that you don't know what to do with. And in France, we use a lot of radishes, and I think to make us eat vegetables, my mom would just slice them really thin. If I'm going down with a mandolin, and just put them on a pretty dish. We use golden beets, you can use radishes, you can use cucumbers, you can use absolutely anything. So very easy to make.
I love that. It looks, if it's easy to make, but it looks like you tried very hard. It's a great thing to bring to somebody's house for summer entertaining. It's beautiful, and we love Brightland here, so just a little drizzle of that. And
very good olive oil.
Yeah. Oh, that's so pretty. And then just you finish with a little...
And then salt. A little flaky salt is my preferred salt for sure. And then we'll just...
Oh, wow. And it looks so fresh, which I feel like was exactly what you want in the summer, right?
Yeah, and you can make it ahead, pop it in the fridge until your friends arrive, or you can just, make a few for yourself. I really love eating this dish. If you can find some edible flowers at the market, great, but honestly, this should all be with kind of whatever you have in the fridge.
Okay.
It's very fresh, it's very zesty.
Well, simple, zesty, and exquisite. And next you're showing us how to make an artichoke and bean salad.
So this is the ultimate recipe for when you don't have any groceries. Everything is from the pantry. A well-stocked pantry will save you. And so in this case, it's beans, some artichokes in oil, and some roasted red peppers. Literally everything from the pantry, with some olive oil, some pepper, some salt, a little lemon, and some herbs. And again, super super adaptable. You could use, you know, a lot of different things. It's very healthy, and it comes together, I mean, not even 2 minutes. Really, this is just more assembly than cooking. But every recipe in the book, you know, has 10 ingredients or less, but a lot of them have 3 or 4, and very few. And the idea was like, you can really do this super easily. I love a healthy dose of pepper, and we already dressed with some lemon.
That is beautiful, and I love the blue bowl here as well.
I know, it's very Riviera blue. I love it.
It is very Riviera blue. Well, thank you, Melanie, so much.
Thank you so much.
have been a delight to talk to. I'm a huge fan of Gia, so it's a pleasure to meet you. And you can scan the QR code on the bottom left corner of your screen to shop her beautiful cookbook, Riviera, and everything you saw here today. Diane, dinner at my place or yours?
Looks good, Lori. I'll eat at either. Lori Bergamato, thank you. And to shop that book and more, you can scan the QR code in the bottom left corner of your screen. I'm Diane Macedo. The news never stops, and neither do we. We have a lot more news after the break. Stay with us. But before we go, we're celebrating America 250 by honoring the history of our leaders for nearly a year. ABC News, our stations and affiliates, have spoken with family members of presidents from Washington to Reagan. We asked them about their relatives' accomplishments and learned some new things. Here are just a few.
My name is Melanie Eisenhower, and I'm the great-granddaughter of Dwight Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States. I think that my great-grandfather Eisenhower's greatest accomplishment, and I think he would agree with this, was the role that he played as a general in World War II. When he decided to invade Normandy on D-Day, that was perhaps the most important moment of his life. And the success of that mission really spurred on other successes in his life, like victory in Europe and also his election to presidency. A little known fact about my great-grandfather Eisenhower is that he was a professional baseball player for 2 years before he went to West Point. So this was not known, and he was never public about it, because if West Point had known, then he would